I made a mistake, and I assumed that it was something that it wasn't. I just assumed, and it made me out to look even worse because I had it all wrong, and now people are going to run with that part.
Yeah.
Correct.
So start running.
Yeah.
So,
oh, my God.
Brew, your reaction to the supernatural funk that you...
Well, Brandon Graham, he sounds like a 17-year-old freshman in college who played at a small rural high school and had never met a reporter before. Like, for a 36-year-old, 15-year veteran to say this is unbelievable. Like, I know the reporters that were interviewing him were sitting there like...
I think that's his radio
That's
show,
his
though.
own
He's
radio
just doing his thing.
Yeah.
I know, but for him to do this is... How do you do that?
And he
That's
is the leader of that. Like, he came back to try to get a ring. He's one of the only guys who won a championship with him that's on the roster. He's wildly respected. They were all crying when he took, because remember he tore his tricep a few weeks ago.
I mean, I know those reporters were sitting there like, oh my God, can you believe he's saying this? We hit the jackpot. Like, they have. I mean, they've been all over the place. But it's terrible for him to come out and say that. I do believe, though, Sirianni came out. And Sirianni said that he sees, because
he sees them have lunch
together. He sees them eating lunch together every single day. He sees them praying together before games, talking about A.J. and Hurts. I got to be honest, and I'm not saying Sirianni has this great track record of believability, but I tend to believe what he said because it's so easy for players to be like, eating lunch together every day. They hardly ever eat lunch together. Or I've never seen them praying together. Like, that's so easy to uncover those lies, and I think that would hurt him in the locker room. So I tend to believe that, and I think Graham just, like he said, I don't know the whole story. Then he said, I assumed something that wasn't the case. I'm thinking he really didn't know what he was talking about, and he ran with it.
I see this like Brandon Graham.
You think he just exposed everything?
Yeah.
I don't see it as being exposed. He just said the exact truth. I think that those guys could pray together. I think those guys could eat together.
And not be friends?
And I think number 1 is absolutely trying. And I think number 11 can respond way better to criticism and way better to disappointment than he is. Like and could do things better than he's doing it and worry about his own house a little bit more as opposed to Jalen's house. All those things could be true simultaneously, and I don't think Brandon was looking at this as like I'm exposing something. He's looking at it as like one dude's working really hard, the other dude's frustrated because he's not getting the ball enough, but he's got stuff he could fix too.
But don't you think the worst thing he said was they used to be friends and things have changed? I don't see if they're eating lunch together every day. I don't think they're friends.
Brew, I don't know the Eagles' cafeteria setup. It might be that the quarterbacks and wide receivers all sit at the same table. I don't know if it's one-on-one. I don't know if it's a big group. But I'm telling you right now, if we had a rough show and in the post-game press conference, which we actually do because we're idiots, you were asked what can improve, and you were like, the mountain, the tears, and you're like, I'd be pissed. Like, it is not speculation that A.J. Brown, after a victory, was asked, what do we need to improve on? And his answer, paraphrasing, was the stuff Jalen's supposed to do. He didn't say the passing game. He didn't say the offense. He said passing.
But then Kevin had come out and said, there's some things that Brew can work on as well. And Nick is really trying.
Yeah, and they used to be friends.
No, that's like I said. They used to get along. That's the thing to me.
This is, to me, the story. This is one of the most unnecessary, out of nowhere, small disasters we've seen from a team in recent memory. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the second longest winning streak in the league. They are undefeated when A.J. Brown plays. He is having a good year. He's 5th in the league in yards per game. Now, his overall stats are down because he missed 3 games, but 5th in the league in yards per game. And their entire public media presence should be 2-pronged, maybe 3-pronged, but one should be everyone that you guys doubted is proving you're wrong. said our defense was terrible last year. Just think about everything I said about them in the offseason. It was all wrong. You said our defense couldn't do it. How are they doing now? You said our coach couldn't do it. How's he doing now? That should be one prong. And the other prong should be we have the MVP of the league on our team. His name's Saquon Barkley. He's going to break the rushing record. That's all they should do. We're 11-2. We're awesome. Our defense kicks ass. We're the best running back in football. Instead, the best player on their offense, other than Saquon, maybe including, starts a fire, and then Brandon Graham unintentionally, but obviously, pours kerosene on it.
So if I said, hey, A.J., you're one of the best receivers in the whole NFL, and the team's doing great, but we had Josh crunch the numbers, 6.6 targets a game. That's 43rd in the whole league. Feels like, man, you deserve the ball a little bit more. You're like, nah, Saquon.
I mean,
you'd be pissed off. You'd be upset.
I get why he's frustrated, but you just can't. You shouldn't.
I know, but
out.
he's got.
No.
Here's the other option.
And they
throw
throw
the ball a little bit more.
They throw the ball fewer than any team in the league.
Throw the ball more.
That's
Here's
what
another-
could be the disasters if Sirianni says we got to start throwing it and getting it to A.J. And look, I on the positive note, they were doing. A.J. was doing this in 2022 when they made the Super Bowl and almost beat the Chiefs in that. So
and then they
was
started
doing
throwing
that
the ball to
leading
him
up.
more, and Jalen was a turnover machine.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they
So
should
they're
throw it.
winning the game, and the guy complains, and he's unhappy because his numbers are a little bit off.
So
now
you
we're going to change the
change
whole
it?
game plan because
No,
you're
I'm
a
saying
little
you
bit-
shouldn't do that.
He's
A
saying,
little bit.
But
Why?
A little bit.
But
Because I'll meet you in the middle. Because I'm not going to have a situation where you're 100% wrong and Bruce 100% right if he's complaining about the mountain. You got to do.
Well, there's also 53 people on the team.
Yeah,
and he's one of 53.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
and-
he's making $35 million.
Right, but
and
that's
the best.
that's the
complaining
reason.
if he got paid.
So that's, again, to quote Don Draper, which is odd because I actually have never watched Mad Men. That's what the money's for. Like there are two ways professionally to placate people. One is attaboys, attention, all of it. The other is $35 million a year.
I want the ball.
And-
I want to contribute more. That's
You
fair.
said Funk Watch. They play Pittsburgh next, right?
Yes.
If they lose that game,
No, but how
that's
about
when it
this?
could blow
If
it
you're
to
Pittsburgh
full
and Mike Tomlin,
A full-blown funk after this.
aren't you going into
You
that
think it's
game
already
blanketing?
No, I don't
blanketing
think it's-
AJ?
If they lose to Pittsburgh
Then they
after
lose
all
to
this,
Pittsburgh. There's a little it's not a big funk. They lost one game. The defense is really good. They're running the ball really well. The quarterback's not turning the ball over. This is a really good team in the hunt.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.